Hello again, time for another episode of Physics with Mr. C. Today we're going to look at dimensional analysis on a more complex problem than we have in the past. In this case, we're going to try to convert 20 miles per hour into meters per second. Now the steps we're going to need to do, first we're going to have to figure out what conversion factors we need. Then we'll have to set it up in an equation and check to make sure everything cancels so that we're only left with what we want, meters per second. Finally, we'll plug in our numbers and do the math. Remember, these type problems, you need to get the units right first before you attempt any math whatsoever. Okay, now, determining conversions. We wanted to go from miles per hour to meters per second. So we need to convert miles to meters. The conversion from miles to meter is 1,609 meters are equivalent of 1 mile. Okay, now, problem here, both of them used little m. So I'll use ME for meters, MI for miles to make it a little easier to see. The other two you should know. Let's underline this one. You have number of minutes in an hour, 60. Number of seconds in a minute, again, 60. Very convenient. Those are the conversions you need right there. Go ahead and write them down on a piece of paper so you have them when you need them in the problem. And I'll give you a few seconds for that. Okay, hopefully you got them. If not, pause it and get them that way. All right, here we go for our unit check. Okay, we want to go from miles per hour to meters per second. So first, let's get rid of that miles. Times, you want to get rid of miles, so they have to have a miles on the bottom. So you're going to have meters per mile. All right. Now, let's get rid of hours. Okay, we know 1 hour, we need it on the top here because it's on the bottom there, is 60 minutes. There. And 1 minute contains 60 seconds. Okay? Now, look at the cancellations we got here. Okay, we got miles and miles. Those two are out. Okay, hours and hours, they're out. Minutes and minutes, they're out. What you're left with, meters per second. So we're going to end up, in the end, meters per second. All right, now we're ready to plug in numbers. We had 20 miles per hour, 1,609 meters in 1 mile. 1 hour contains 60 minutes, and 1 minute contains 60 seconds. Let's do the math. It's best at this point, if you're not comfortable with what you have there, to take the units out and just write in your numbers. So you have a 20 times a 1,609 on top, 2 60s on the bottom. Plug into your calculator. You'll end up with 8.9 meters per second. That's the conversion. 20 miles per hour is the equivalent of 8.9 meters per second. Okay, flashback, quick summary here. First step, determine and look up conversions. can do this online. You can get apps for this to put on your phone. But remember, on the big test, you're not going to be able to use those things. So they'll either have to give you the conversion right up front, or you'll have to memorize them. Basic ones you should have memorized, like the time ones, for instance. Those you should know. Set up your equation and check your cancellations. Make sure you end up with the right units. Problem with a lot of these things is you'll think you have it set up right, but you'll have something flipped, and when you do the math, it doesn't work. Plug in the numbers and do the math. That's your last step. But there's always that other step you got to remember. Be neat. Always be neat. If you're neat, you'll see if you've made a mistake. If not, you're liable not to catch it. Your problem ends up wrong. Need more practice? Then try this. There are additional worksheets available for you in the Google Classroom. Just look them up and do some of those practice problems. Remember, they're there to help you, so try them. Think you got it? Think you're smart? Try this problem. Convert 60 meters per second into furlongs per fortnight. Not telling you the conversion. The only thing I'll tell you is those are real units. You can work it out. Look them up. Hope this has helped. Hope this has given you some incentive to keep working harder. Mr. C, Physics.